selfish ghost.
Ed Hardin, Panthers head to New Orleans for throwback game that feels like a playoff. The 8-3 Panthers will travel to the 8-3 Saints with everything potentially on the line, the NFC South, the wild card and the holidays. With the Falcons heating up and both Carolina and New Orleans playing as well as any teams in the NFL, December is going to be its own tournament. This is just the beginning. There was a time when all three franchises played in the NFC West, an expansion quick fix that also included St. Louis and San Francisco, a geographic nightmare but a wonderful thing for beat writers on expense budgets. But I digress. That temporary arrangement created the one thing NFL teams require: rivalries. These teams know each other so well that even the build-up becomes a game in itself. And the gamesmanship for this one started in the moments after their first meeting, a 34-13 Saints win that gave New Orleans a crucial tiebreaker and makes this almost a must-win for Carolina. The Saints players marveled at their ability to keep Cam Newton in the pocket, in part because New Orleans came in anticipating the old Newton and instead kept running into an immobile statue trying to fit into a new offense. Newton is himself again, having gone to coach Ron Rivera and offensive coordinator Mike Shula and telling, not asking, them that it was time to turn him loose again. That was also the day Cameron Jordan, the Saints' defensive end, made fun of Newton and his fashion, referring to the quarterback's grandpa hat and his Coachella onesie, and suggested he wear high heels. Newton fired back this week when the beat writers reminded him of Jordan's remarks. "I didn't know he was a fan of my dress code," Newton said. Obviously he's been paying attention. Nevertheless, that's flattering to me. If he sends me his address, I can send him some sauce. Then Jordan took a full swing at Newton. "What does sauce mean?" Jordan asked. "With fedoras and tight pants, I don't know what sauce means. I'm scared. I'm good. I don't have the body for that." He's got the basketball-type body, so he rocks some basketball-type things. I've seen the way he dresses too, so. Not that this is a fashion show or anything. I have no idea what any of that means. But I've been to New Orleans enough to know that fashion and football sometimes get confused. These franchises have met 45 times since the NFC West days, Carolina leading the series 24-21. Outscoring the Saints 993-982. It's that close. And while the original Panthers were built with the Saints as a model, Dom Capers and Sam Mills were together in New Orleans, the franchises have been polar opposites in recent years. That's why the first meeting seemed so odd and why Newton insisted on getting back to his own fashion of moving around in the pocket and running at will. The Saints really have no book on Carolina this season. And all week, Rivera has been making it even harder for New Orleans to know what to prepare for. He's been cagey about injuries, delaying updates and telling the writers it would be the weekend before he knew the status of center Ryan Kallal, Thomas Davis, Greg Olsen and Christian McCaffrey. Carolina knows full well that the Saints are banged up for this game. Their offensive line is patched together with two starters out and an unclear depth chart behind them. Also, the secondary is seriously compromised with injuries to both cornerbacks and the free safety. The news of a failed drug test for Carolina defensive end Charles Johnson shook the Panthers midweek, but they have a pretty good replacement in Julius Peppers, who leads the team in sacks. It also opened a roster spot allowing Carolina to activate Damiere Byrd, possibly the Panthers' fastest player who's been out since week 4 with an arm injury. So that's one more thing the Saints have to prepare for. Both teams are prepared for a month of Sundays, and this one has the feel of a big NFL game. Inside the NFC South, it's nothing short of a playoff opener. Carolina gets 3 homes after this and then a road trip to Atlanta. New Orleans has 2 games left with Atlanta.